Okay, so today I wanted to show the progress on the farming front, and so I've picked this farm to showcase the fact that we can grow crops inside. So you're used to this here, put those outside, they'll grow if there's some light. Same thing can be done inside. You're kind of used to this as well. Light goes through, you can plant this. As soon as there's no sunlight, then you can't plant it. Now, if you've planted it after or planted it when there was sunlight and then blocked this off, then it'll still keep growing in vanilla. So we've altered that a little bit. So what we want to do is showcase the fact that first, or during the day, this grows. If we were to go to midnight on the next day, you'll see that during the nighttime, the growth is actually halted. So there is a restriction. Let's go back to morning. There is a restriction. It has to be light. And so we kind of deem that from nighttime to morning, there is no light, and therefore the growth stops. The other way to stop the growth is if you were to, say, I'll put some curtains here, which I've changed the opacity of this so that it doesn't let the light through. Now this should be enough. The light coming from this door is too far away, so I don't have to worry about it. And as you can see, the growth has halted because there's no light coming through. If I was to open this up, you can see the light goes through again. The other thing I've had to do, if we were to use hatches as an example, so let's put a hatch on top here. And let's change the rotation of this like that. So we'll close both of these. As you can see, there's no lights, and if I was to open either one of those, the light would go through. Same thing with doors. If we were to put a door in, whoops, say in this rotation, light doesn't go through. As soon as I open it, light goes through. It's just, oh, here's a screamer. Let's kill everyone just to make sure we don't get bothered. And then I've had to do quite a bit to get this to work because there's so many rotations. So if I was to put a door like this, see, light goes through, I open the door, light goes through, and that makes sense because there is some light going through this way. But if I was to put it in that rotation, see, light goes through. In this case, I wouldn't be closing the door, I'm opening the door, then the light is blocked. So we'll leave that as is. Let's see what else. What I wanted to do is, the reason why I do this is because in some biomes, I'll put a requirement, let's say in the winter biome, that you'll have to be inside with some heat in order for the crops to grow. But now that you're inside, if you were to, and I haven't done this, but if you were to, let's say, get rid of this curtain, then the heat would dissipate through the windows, and we don't want that. So because there wouldn't be enough heat for these guys. So what we want to do is make sure that these are all closed off, and that we actually include some lights, some artificial lights. So let's put a generator over here. We'll put the engines and fuel this thing. And then we'll put a few switches. Let's say a couple switches here. And where's my... Let's just hook these up. It's pretty dark in here. So what we'll do is we'll put a light, I'd say, over there. And let's hook it up to the first switch. And we'll turn this on. So we've got light, but it's too far from this guy for it to actually receive any lights. So what we'll need to do, let's say I don't know if this is good enough, but let's say we put a light right above it. Can we? Well, just right here might be enough. Let's give it a try. I forget what distance I put. So let's close this one off, turn this one on, and there we go. So this guy has some lights. If I was to put another one, let's say here, I can plant it because there's enough lights. Let's just do a few, see where I can see. I can put it there. I don't know if it's because of that lights. I can't put it there. Yeah, so there's enough lights over here. So what you'll probably have to do is put a few lights. Yeah, I can't put it right under here because there's not enough room. And there's not enough lights here or there. So you'll have to work with these lights. Putting it lower might help, but in the case of corn seeds, unfortunately, they have a certain height, and so you have to play with that. And yeah, so that's the first part, is being able to grow some crops inside with artificial light, because in some biomes you'll definitely need that. And then in the next part, it will be about playing with temperature. So right now outside it's 60 degrees. We're in the forest. It should be fine. But if you're in the snow biome, then this will become way too cold. And so I'll figure out how to increase the heat, and we'll add a water source. So these crops will require some water in order to grow. Once A21 comes in, we might make use of the dew collector. I'm not too sure. We'll see what happens, but that's essentially how this works for now. See you in the next one.